It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. Everything is possible. Everything is possible.
What would it look like if you come out as a group of American social work graduate students and build a meaningful relationship with South African people to get a deeper understanding of which country I've entered, what life is like here, and then ultimately what the professional realm of social work is like.
Well, here we are. We just arrived in Cape Town, South Africa. 8 students to start 2 weeks of working with Educo Africa for social justice and cultural immersion. We just had the opening ceremony and the welcoming from Educo, and we really look forward to the next 2 weeks. A lot of learning will take place and a lot of reflection and information that our students will learn about ourselves as well as about our friends in South Africa.
My name is Jason St. Mary. I'm a second-year social work student at the University of Denver, and we're in South Africa. We're in Cape Town. This is the first day that we all came together, and I think there's a lot of excitement flowing around now. Just probably a little nervousness on some level too. But this is really an opportunity to connect and make relationships, and I'm excited. I'm pretty amped to be here. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people, and I think a lot of good work can come out of this opportunity.
We are going into the mountains to get to know one another better, to have an opportunity to encounter nature, and I expect this will take us out of our comfort zone, all of us, even if you're used to the backcountry.
We're going to be out in the bush for, I think, 5 days, 4 nights, hiking in separate groups with leaders from NGOs, and just really developing intimate relationships and connections and trust with the people we're going to be doing our field placements with.
In order to have you engage not just on a let's visit an agency, let's shake hands, let's maybe do a quick name game and then try and understand what the work is like. But actually what we do, and this is where the components come in, we take the 2 groups of 10 South African social workers and 10 American social work graduate students, and we go and take them into the wilderness, which is one of Educo Africa's key methodologies. And we say, in the wilderness, the first thing that will happen is that very quickly you will build meaningful relationship because you have no choice but to do that. Get ready, Jason!
Each group gets exactly the same thing, even if the color of the backpack is not exactly the same. Inside the backpack, already packed for you, is a sleeping bag, a tarp, a big green tarp, what we call a survival bag. You'll have in the front pocket a bowl, a metal bowl, and a spoon, and a cup, a metal cup. That's all the utensils you're going to have for this time. The spoon is holy. It's your one and only eating utensil. And they all look the same, so you got to hold on to them.
And also, all the things that might have been in the way, all of that is stripped away very quickly because in the mountains we very quickly become the same. We have the same needs. We get hungry, we get tired, we get hot.
spent about 45 minutes yesterday leaving base camp to get to our first night where we stayed. This area it's beautiful. It's like these canyons, like these wild boulders, rocky, pretty beautiful. I've never seen anything like it in the States, so it's just pretty overwhelming to me. But lots of wildlife, lots of beautiful flowers and plants, and it's just untouched, it seems like, so it's quite beautiful.
We are in day 2 of our wilderness journey. The coolest thing, like, it's the middle of the afternoon, I'm assuming. We still don't know what time it is. Like I said earlier, they took all of our watches, and like, we're about to take off on a little bit more of a hike, but we still don't know what we're doing. And it's really cool because it's all about the journey and not exactly where we're going or how we're going to get there, but just kind of being in the moment. Every half day we pick 2 new people to be the team leaders for the next portion of the day, and really they just kind of provide support. They kind of lead and then follow up on the hike. They're in charge of using the map and compass and kind of tracking down a route that we're going to take to get to the next spot. And it's kind of cool that from every midday or start of a new day, we kind of hand it off to 2 new people and give them the chance to be the leaders of the group.
Here we got to do a little exchange of some wishes for one another and just really set the stage for the next few days. So it was a nice morning, and we're looking forward to the rest of the 3 days.
So very, very quickly, we begin to speak about the things that truly matter to us on a human-to-human level, which is love, relationship, family, what keeps me going when things get tough, where do I draw my strength when I don't know how to continue, and that brings us close.
You guys are all so inspiring to me, and I feel like if I can become half the person that you guys all are, I'll be okay. Like, you're incredible, and I will cherish this experience forever.
I kind of had some questions coming into here, and I kind of have some clarity without all the emails coming in and the opportunities and the not opportunities and I feel a little bit more aligned with my own path, just pulling away for a few days.
I also just think about the simplicity of being out here and how we're just fine getting by with the few things we brought in our packs. We've been out here for a few days, and Denver's the biggest city I've lived in my whole life, and it can be really overwhelming sometimes, and I really miss the simplicity of smaller places and just more intimate settings. And
why don't we be like this, like communicate the way we are now? We are different people. We've got different minds, and then we're doing different work. But the way we communicate to each other while we are here for these 4 days, it was amazing. And then why don't we imply it where we stay, where we work?
I see the way we treat each other out here, and I too, like Cindy, I just think if this could be the way we operated on a daily basis and treated everyone, I feel like this world would be such a better place.
Well, I sit here and I'm blessed to hear these stories, and I look at the mountains and I say thank you. Thank you to what they've brought out in this short period of time. I say thank you for bringing me here and bringing these people. It could have been a different group of people. But the people that are in this group were meant to be in this group, and I feel that there's a connection that goes beyond this.
Meaningful conversations are being had when taken outside of the everyday life and sort of stripped of the comforts that we're familiar with. And so that foundation then allows for an engagement around issues of social justice, cultural differences, and social work practice that goes deeper than in another circumstance.
Okay, so for me, my kind of burning question is, what now? Like, what next? How do I bring this experience with me and hold on to it tightly?
You can't change yourself overnight, but you take a piece and a bit day by day, each adventure. And I know that most of you don't know me very well, but I can tell you that I'm a very different person today than I was even 4 days ago and even just a few months ago.
And then also, I was thinking also in the future, like, what type of social worker will I be? Will I be the one that just sits in the office or just lays around talking about politics and how bad it is in South Africa and question the government's doing, why they're implementing this and not that? But for me, it's like I was listening to all the conversation and everyone's like moaning, including myself, like, why are they doing this, why are they doing that? But what are we doing to like stand up to them so that we can also improve like situations and communities and make it a better place?
Is social work in the U.S. regressing due to these variables? And are those in South Africa more evolved than we? How can I bring about the accrued learning of these experiences to the communities of my home region? Am I equipped to be an effective and functional piece in bringing about significant and lasting change to underserved communities?
You ask yourself that question one day. Keep asking questions. Ask them. And I'll constantly ask myself every day, did I add value to someone's life? Did I make a difference? When I go to bed, did I say something that could change someone's life? Did I do something that can change someone's life? And how am I changing my life for someone else's benefit? So
I'm really grateful for the space, for these mountains, and for the wisdom and gifts that it holds that we cannot control. And I'm very grateful to the group for diving in and making use of the space provided to go through your own wilderness and explore inside, and then bring forth the fruits of your toil, because it's hard work. But going in, it's not a gentle thing, it's hard.
And so with that basis of a considerable time spent in the wilderness, we then go into the second part of the course, which is a 4-day internship in the different agencies that the social workers that were in the wilderness with us, that have now become friends, work in. And so during that internship, the engagement with the issues that are being experienced, the engagement with the individual people that are met, the young people, the ones who, the ones who are being treated, whatever the agency's core focus is, that engagement, because of the foundation that was built before, is more real, allows for conversations that go deeper than if we just had done the handshake and spent a day, but little profound shifts can take place because it's just touching in on different experiences.
Baby?
Alright, so we're here on our second day at Africa Cocoon, Laura, Aaron, and I. Our understanding of the organization so far is it's sort of an umbrella agency, offers multiple programs and services for the Delft community here. Among those services are a family support group that we've had the chance to go out and explore the community with. They have early childhood development programming and programming for youth. I think there's a food support services and a healthcare team that goes out in the community. So a bunch of different programs falling under this one umbrella agency.
I think today was really nice for us, the experience, because we got to see the more compassionate side of the workers. It was really nice to also get to see the teachers, to see how loving and caring the teachers are as well.
I think what's been most impactful for me is truly seeing what community empowerment looks like. Getting to be on our feet and walking through the townships and greeting families in their own homes and in their own space, you can tell there's a very personal relationship between the organization here and the individuals, their clients that they're serving in the community. And I think it really breaks down a lot of barriers when they're welcome in the homes and they are having the opportunity to kind of sort through whether it's paperwork and getting their kids settled in the program, or whether it's providing services for that families and meeting their needs. It's really impactful seeing that happen in the community and in a very personal way, where I think there's just a lot of transparency and a lot of honesty, and I think that really empowers the community members, and it seems that their needs are truly being met when there's that sort of relationship built between the organization here and the individuals.
As a community social worker, it was really profound for me to be able to kind of get in with the clinical side and get on the down on the ground, getting our hands dirty, like going into the homes with the family support team, kind of hearing firsthand stories about what some of the families within the Delft Township are going through, and seeing how a lot of the services are actually provided, because I'm usually focused on administrative things, grant writing, management, and it was really great for me to be able to see like how those things are actually implemented.
For me, it's just been, I'm really grateful. It's been a very comprehensive experience, because we get the chance to play with the students. We've gotten the chance to do some admin work. We've gotten the chance to go out into the schools and the communities and the homes, and so it feels like we're getting a taste of a lot of different aspects of social work and the work the organization here does. So I'm very grateful for that and excited to continue getting a little taste of each of those.
Here we are at James House, where we had our first day of our internship.
Ubusisiwe yeyiwena ubusisiwe wena yeyiwena ntombi yeyiwena ubusisiwe wena ngoba wena ntombi uyathanda yekhali kababa bayakuthanda yekhali kababa awubakulindi awuyeko.
We started off the internship observing their program for adolescents that have dropped out of high school or for otherwise not in school currently. They really focus on group discussions and learning through each other. They talk about teen pregnancy, drug abuse, substance abuse in the community, and ways they handle it, their own personal triggers. They also are able to learn skills, and James House provides them with opportunities to go to other agencies and job fairs and universities in the area and help them decide if they want to go to college or what they want their career to like. Their average age is between 15 to 22, and this morning we sat in with some groups, did some of the games and energizers they did to start their day. They sang for us, did some dancing. We tried to sing for them, it wasn't as successful, and just kind of talked to them a little bit about what their program was like for them. Yeah. We also found out with that they go into the woods twice. So they have one where they do a whole bunch of team building exercises, really come together as a collective group, and then they go again, and that is really working on their self-esteem and working through their own personal issues. So that was kind of cool, because it sort of mirrored a little bit of some of the experiences that we had in the wilderness.
So then after that, we went to Safe Park, where young children, they're about 7, 8, 9 years old, in grades 2 and 3 generally, were in a container where they had a safe place to go outside of the communities of the townships located around here. But it was really nice just to have that fundamental connection. And what we were talking about earlier is kids are kids, whether they're teenagers or young ones, that the same basic principles apply. And despite all the difficulties they face within their communities, there's still a joy and a connection, and a generosity that they really were willing to share with us. And I was felt really privileged and honored to be in this position, and look forward to the time to come where we can actually get into the trenches a little bit more and experience what James House has to offer.
This is Kelsey, and we've been doing our internship with Bulelwa at Wolanani here in Cape Town. They do a wide range of things, anywhere from support groups for folks who are HIV/AIDS positive, also run several clinics and have community caseworkers that go out into the community, make sure people are adhering to their treatment plans and for HIV/AIDS and tuberculosis. They also have another income generation aspect of the program where 35 women do craft work, and that is how they make their income. They've been around since 1994, and Bulelwa is one of the supervisors.
And social workers there.
And social workers.
Yeah, it's a really cool organization. Their main focus is on HIV/AIDS work and prevention. And yeah, as Bianca said, we've been pretty blown away with the amount of things that they do. They have 2 different sites. We're at one right now. 2 different sites, OVC sites, which stands for Orphan and Vulnerable Children, and so where they will run groups for children that are either affected or infected.
Yes.
They don't really know the statuses of the children
because we don't test them.
The children, yeah.
It's open to everyone.
Right. And then we've also visited 2 of the clinics where they do HIV testing, and they have goals for the day to try to test as many people as possible, as well as they do, as Bianca said, endurance counseling for the patients that have already been diagnosed. So yeah, it's a really cool organization, and they do a ton of stuff.
All right. Today I'm with Bianca and Kelsey. We've invited them to come and be part of our support group session for today, which is the last session for the year. The main objective for this support group is to offer women who are HIV positive space for them to share their experiences as well as to get support from one another. So they are all from the same community, which is in Fuleni, and they come here once a week, and it's a group of about 13 women, and the attendance is not so regular, but those who come, they come regularly. And also from our side, we always there. I'm a social worker, so what my role is to help those who break down during the sessions, offer some crisis intervention, contain them so that when they leave, they are back to their normal functioning again.
My name is Patricia Rosella. I'm working for an organization that is called Yabonga HIV and AIDS Project. The organization was established in 1998. It started as a educare center where the abandoned children that are HIV positive lost their parents. So they started it as a educare. After that, they decided that to take care of these kids without mothers, it's not enough. So they decided to train the mothers as well, to equip them, empower them in order on how to deal with HIV and AIDS. I think now we have 500 and something kids for OVC, and the youth is 220. So the OVC is here at Yabonga. We do have them after school. They run support group. They do drama. We provide psychosocial support for them, whereby they play games and they do play therapy as well, arts, music. So that's what we do at Yabonga, and as workers there, we are doing awarenesses in our communities, whereby we ask our community, we prevent our community by giving them condoms, females and male condoms. We also teach them about pap smears and stuff. We also update them in terms of the health issues that are new, looking at our health calendar.
My name is Jessica Vasquez. I was able to be with Patricia this week at Yabonga. I think one of the things I take away from being with Yabonga this week at looking at social work in the US versus social work in South Africa is that we concentrate so much on the clinical aspect and the counseling aspect of social work, and here I see the needs being addressed as a community. So I was talking before that if you treat one individual but you insert them back into a community that's broken, you cannot be effective. And seeing the creative ways that folks in South Africa have to create community interventions with very little resources is pretty amazing. And we've seen that a lot through song and dance, and then listening to the messaging that's going on during prayer before food or song and dance. I see Yavanga taking those opportunities to educate within the language that's going on.
Sabile, who was our tour guide in Longa, brought, I don't know, 30 of his individuals. He runs a nonprofit organization that is called Happy Feet that promotes the gumbo dancing. So they have their boots, the hats, and they do this slap dancing, singing thing in the back, and they did it right outside the house in the alleyway. And it was just this amazing collection of individuals from, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old all the way up probably to 17 or 18. And it was interesting to watch the community come around too and observe it and witness it. So I think it was a learning opportunity for all of us who were involved.
This is the Happy Feet Youth Project. From Langa we do campus dancing as a way to collect kids off the street and introduce them to different areas in Cape Town and to see there's a bigger world more than the township. So we use this dance as an instrument to achieve education, respect and self-esteem and confidence. So enjoy it. We started this in 2007 to create a space where the children can start doing things themselves, from dancing, helping each other, from school. And now we're going to show you how they've created these dances themselves. Emilia, she's one of the leaders of the girls, and she's the one who always helps with the drumming and everything. But it's a way to help the kids to see the world, you know. So we use the dance to do that.
So after going through the Happy Feet, or observing the Happy Feet performance by the youth in the township, we were walking along the street and Saviwe stops us and said, "Would you like to have a beer?" And we're like, "Oh, yeah, you know, that sounds kind of good." And so we enter this really dark, small building.
Welcome to a shipping, an illegal place that sells alcohol. Yes. And here in the township, like I told you, we are not really working on like strict rules here, whereby there's like, for example, this must be like this or like this. We are always in between. So this place, they all know it and it's tolerated as well. They brew a beer here called Umkomboti. This business, shippings, are run and owned by women because only women knows how to brew beer. Although their customers, 90% of their customers are men. The volume of alcohol here, it's less than 2%. The ingredients, it's malt, water, and maize meal. So I'm going to show you how to drink this beer. Compliments to the brewer. The first round, you never put down the bucket. Then the second round, you can put down, anyone can just go and drink. So I hope you're listening to me, that you're not going to drop it. There you go. Very, very nice.
Ooh, don't drop it.
Good ending. Good ending there.
She's going for it. Is it? Oh, it is heavy.
The beer is fermented on location, and it goes around in a circle until the beer is empty. So it can go multiple rounds depending on how many people are there. We had a fairly large crew, so we were able to sample it. And then the local men were able to participate with us, you know, and it was really accepting. And that was the one thing about Longa and many of the townships. I've never been in a community that was, you know, more or less fairly impoverished and so welcomed. As we were walking through the townships, we came across this barbecue of sorts. And seated there were 3 women who basically spend the day roasting sheep's head.
That now the ships we have in South Africa are not enough to supply this demand. Wow. We had to look around the world who's got ships and don't take care of the heads. And the Australians and New Zealanders,
New Zealand, yeah.
we import these heads from there as well.
Good quality.
And this iron rod is to burn the wool without damaging the skin. And from here, they will cut it in half. The only part you don't eat is the brains. They need to be boiled for 2 hours. Then after 2 hours, it's ready to be served. And everyone eats sheep's heads. It's got a very unique taste. It tastes very different from anything. Because this business is popular in the late afternoons and evenings. That's why, because they would put all their sheep's heads here. There are no flies at night. And that light lights up this place. So at this time of the day, not so good to care. Yeah. And the thing is, it's all sold out. They're very popular, but they make yesterday, all sold out. They have to make other ones.
How much does it cost?
50 rand for full.
For a head?
Yes. And 25 rand for half.
And from there, we came across these women who were celebrating. Came to learn that the women were celebrating because one of the sons from the family was going off into the wilderness for his really rite of passage.
The son has just gone off into the bush for initiation school, which is where they're circumcised and they stay in the bush for 4 weeks
until they come back. And during that time, the families and the community celebrates. And you saw the women in the traditional wear, the mother with the beautiful necklace. So they are celebrating their son's transition into manhood.
It's day 15 of the program, our final day here in Cape Town, South Africa. And we've kind of had the last couple days to really reflect on everything that's happened here. Everything from the 5 days we spent in the mountains, sleeping under the stars, getting to know our South African counterparts, to the 4 days we spent working at the NGOs. I was lucky enough to be placed at Africa Tikkun and really dive into the Delft township, and we did a lot of home visits with some of the other South African social workers, and all of that's really starting to sink in,
Well, we're here on our last day in Cape Town, about to catch our flights out to London, and then everyone's kind of splitting up and going different directions. It's been a really incredible experience the past 2 weeks. I would say that a highlight for myself was the opportunity to work with 2 women who I really grew to admire and respect, Michaela and Nolu, at Africa Tikkun over the past few days. They were very mindful, I would say, of us DU students' presence there at the organization, and really made it an effort to include us in a lot of the services they provide. We were able to be a part of home visits and health clinics, and we got to go into schools and interact with the kids, and it was just all around very eye-opening and enriching for me.
Coming here, I didn't really know what I was getting into. Read some about South Africa, Cape Town history, about the struggles, the obstacles that individuals and families and communities were facing, and being here really provided me a deep gratitude for the country, for the people of the country. Independent of their living conditions, they welcomed us in a lot of ways. And so that's really what's resonating and coming up for me, is that whether it was our South African counterparts or people living within townships, I felt so welcomed and everywhere I was.
This is my first time ever being abroad, and it really inspired me to do more social work globally and think more globally. The wilderness piece was huge for me. It was really just a great opportunity to see the wilderness and learn from a lot of really inspirational people. Other things that really stick out were the homestays in Langa. It was amazing to just be welcomed into essentially a stranger's home for meals and to sleep there. It was just wonderful to me to just play with the kids in the street and really see what life is like in a township in South Africa.
So one thing that really impacted me in this experience was when we went to the township during my internship on the 3rd day. I got to interact with a lot of the local animals, which was really surprising, but in the townships there's horses, there's dogs, there's cats. We saw some geese, we saw a mule, we saw all sorts of animals. So it made me really have this deep connection with this kind of new emerging field of humane education, which is this piece around teaching people how to be humane, not just to animals, but to humans as well. And by using animals to teach empathy, they can then apply it to interacting with humans. A lot of people might think, well, these kids need better shelter, better food, and that type of nutrition and health, and I completely agree with that. But it's also just as important that these kids learn how to treat people with compassion and treat animals with compassion, because it's going to apply to their life later on. It's a huge part of health is stress and how we're treated, so I don't see why that's not any more important than the other basic necessities.
So we're going to be leaving here in a few hours, saying our last goodbyes. It's sad, but at the same time, it's a start to a new life for the rest of us. It'll be life after South Africa, and we'll really see how much that impacts our work back in the States. We've learned so much about how they implement their programs that are kind of similar to some of the stuff that we're doing, and hopefully we can take a lot of that back with us. As you know, Mandela passed just a couple days ago, and that's really starting to sink in too, and you're really starting to see the profound impact that he made on this country and the rest of the world. We did the tour on Robben Island. We stood right outside of the cell that he was held in for, I think, 18 of his 27 years of being imprisoned, and just having that happen at the end of this really just kind of made it all so much more meaningful.
I owe so much gratitude and appreciation to Dean Williams for obviously instigating this, and with Jason's help too. What a treat this really was to get to know him on such a more personal level and experience this country with him. It wouldn't have been possible without him, and I'm so grateful that he was a part of an integral part of the experience and a participant himself in so many of the activities. I also would like to thank Vipka. There's just an immense amount of planning, obviously, that went into every little detail and every little activity we were a part of. And, you know, obviously if it weren't for her and her cooperation and coordination with the dean, none of this would have come together. And she's really inspiring, and I think she does incredible work, and it's obvious and evident the relationship she's built among various partners and NGOs and organizations in this town. It's pretty incredible and remarkable. So grateful to them, and of course to our South African counterparts here who, so many of them took time out of their busy schedules in a very busy time of year, and you know, dropped what they had going on to get to know us and give us such a unique experience and share their ideas and perspectives with us. And I think that I don't want that to go overlooked, because I know even for us in the States, it's incredibly hard to take time off work, and I think I'm really grateful for them as well.
You know, lastly, good old Bruce, you know, our other instructor, he complimented the dean well. It's kind of a little Ozzie and Harriet, if you will. And he looked out for us. You know, I think that was really important. He's a very compassionate, caring, and really thought-provoking man. And I think he added a nice level of depth to this experience also. You know, it is bittersweet in that I'm looking forward to going home, and truly looking forward to coming back also.
Dilo